Let's be real for a second. If you've ever poured your heart and soul into a Horizon Europe grant application only to get that rejection email, you know how frustrating it is. It feels like all that work just vanished. But what if I told you the problem isn't your project? It's your pitch. So let's talk numbers. 150 hours. That's what recent data shows is the average time a team pours into a single proposal that gets rejected. I mean, picture that. That is literally a full month of someone's time, probably one of your best people, gone for nothing. And if you're feeling like you're just buying a lottery ticket every time you hit submit, well, you're not alone. So many brilliant organizations do this. They throw proposal after proposal at these huge funding calls, just crossing their fingers, hoping one of them will magically hit the jackpot. But you know what? That's not a strategy. That's a recipe for burnout. So today, we are going to tear up that lottery ticket. We're going to walk through a clear 5-part roadmap to turn this whole thing from a gamble into a smart, strategic investment. We'll cover the grant lottery trap, the Impact First framework, a 5-month masterclass for building your team, how to nail the proposal, and finish with the ROI-driven mindset. Let's get into it. All right, first up, the grant lottery trap. Let's talk about why just having a great project isn't enough. It really boils down to a huge misunderstanding of what the EU is actually trying to do. And this quote from the Commission itself says it all. The EU sees its grants as strategic policy investments. Think about that for a second. They aren't a charity handing out money for good ideas. They are investors. They're using a massive $95.5 billion budget to push their own agenda forward. Things like the Green Deal, the digital decade. Your project is a tool for them. Which brings us to the number one mistake we see, time and time again. People take a great proposal they wrote for a local grant and just recycle it for Horizon Europe. And guess what? The evaluators can spot that a mile away. It's missing what they call the European dimension. There's no clear link between what you're doing on the ground and the massive continent-wide problems the EU actually cares about solving. Okay, so how do we fix this? It all comes down to a fundamental mindset shift. This is really the aha moment that can change the game for you. Let's talk about the Impact First framework. Okay, look at this. The difference is night and day. The old way focuses on your activity. We will train 500 students in basic coding. Fine. But the Impact First way, it frames that exact same activity in the language of EU policy. We will accelerate EU Digital Decade 2030 targets. See? You're no longer just training people. You're a key partner in achieving a massive strategic goal for the EU. One sounds like a local project, the other sounds like a continent-wide solution. So what is this Impact First framework, really? It's pretty simple when you boil it down. It's a method where you start with the EU's big picture goals first. You figure out what they want to achieve, and then you map your project directly to those goals. You're basically saying, hey, you have this problem, well, my organization is the perfect vehicle to help you solve it. It's a total flip. You're not asking for money. You're offering a strategic partnership. All right, so you get the concept. But how do you actually do it? This is where we move from theory to a practical, step-by-step plan. Let's get into your 5-month masterclass for building a winning alliance. And heads up, this isn't something you can just throw together at the last minute. Think of it like this. For months 1 and 2, you're doing your homework, mapping your network, figuring out who the key players are, and putting together a killer concept note. Then, in months 3 and 4, you're actively pitching to coordinators and locking in your role on the consortium. That last month, that's not for panicked writing. That's for fine-tuning, negotiations, and building real trust with your partners. If you try to cram this into a few weeks, it's just not going to work. And speaking of partners, there's a hard and fast rule you absolutely have to know, the 3-partner eligibility rule. It's simple, but you can't get around it. You need at least 3 independent organizations from at least 3 different countries. Now, at least one of those has to be from an EU member state, but the other 2 can be from other member states or from what they call associated countries. And yep, that includes places like the UK. So a team from, say, Germany, France, and the UK, totally fine. A team of 3 from Germany? Nope, that's a non-starter. Okay, let's move on to the part I know everyone just loves, nailing the proposal. We're talking about taming that administrative beast. Yes, the portal can be a nightmare, but I promise with the right strategy, you can get through it. The proposal narrative really boils down to 3 core sections, and the evaluators are looking at these with a magnifying glass. First up is excellence.
This is where you prove your idea isn't just another small step, it's a major leap forward. Second, impact. And listen, this is the big one. It's usually weighted the most. You have to draw a crystal clear, measurable line from your project to the real world. And finally, implementation. This is your chance to show them you're a safe bet with a solid, detailed plan to get it all done.
And you know, when you look at proposals that fail, the same mistakes pop up over and over. Here are 3 huge pitfalls to avoid. Number 1, a fuzzy, poorly defined impact pathway. Number 2, a team that looks like it was just bolted together at the last minute to tick a box. And number 3, and this is a big one, underestimating how much it costs to actually manage the project. That is a massive red flag for any evaluator.
This all leads us to our final point, and it's maybe the most important mindset shift of all. It's time to adopt the RO-driven mindset. We have to stop seeing this as a gamble and start seeing it as a strategic investment.
Remember that 150-hour number we started with? In terms of staff time, that can easily cost your organization over 12,000 euros for one application. But look at this. New AI tools built specifically for grant writing can slash that time by up to 80%. We are talking about going from 150 plus hours down to maybe 30 or 40. That completely changes the calculation, doesn't it? It makes the whole thing financially viable. But, and I have to be really clear about this, not just any AI will do. Please, do not go to a generic chatbot for this. It's so risky. Those tools can literally invent facts, what they call hallucinating, which is the last thing you want in a legal document. The smart money is on what's called grounded AI. These are tools trained only on the actual, factual guidelines from the funders. So they generate accurate, compliant drafts that save you time on the grunt work and let you focus on the big picture strategy. And really, that's the bottom line right here. You have to treat Horizon Europe applications as strategic ROI investments, not a high-risk gamble. When you put all these pieces together, the right mindset, a solid plan, and the right tools, the whole game changes. So as we finish up, I want to leave you with one final question to think about. Stop asking, what do I need funding for? And start asking yourself this, what EU policy could my work accelerate? Seriously, once you find the answer to that question, you found the key to Horizon Europe.